One thing I've learned about intuitive guides, voices, etc., over the last year, now that I've come out of the closet, as it were, is that they really like to be acknowledged, and when they are acknowledged, the flow of information is swift and clear.
Well, and there's a certain level of disease, and maybe like literally for you, but a common theme with any entrepreneur is if they're denying, or anyone really, if they're denying some part of themselves, some access or flow or something central to who they are and how they are in the world, that's going to build up, and hopefully you get there before you have cancer, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, and that's that's kind of, what is it? That's the worst case scenario, which I like to say.
Right. Yeah.
The least case scenario is you're just not very good.
You're not good.
You're not
There's
good.
No flow in your business.
You're not. Yeah. You're muddying up the works.
People are fascinating, especially up close. More especially when you get them talking about the things that they love. This is From the Hip, conversations in the service of passion, purpose, and play. I'm Adrianne Gunn. You ready to play? Today on From the Hip, I sit with my friend Lia Dunlap, who calls herself the Oracle on Purpose. And you wouldn't know it if we were being described from across the room, but we are not, in fact, the same person.
Now, is that okay? Is it okay that we made this decision with the cat?
Oh, I love cats. I'm good.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
We're fine.
I did ask everybody whether they were allergic to cats or not, but I didn't ask
if they were cat friendly.
Oh,
I have cat friendly hair.
Bentley?
But there's all these little boingy curls.
That's so true.
How are you not bothering her curls? Her curls are
I think mine are shorter.
Much boingier than mine. Apparently, I'm a cat lady. I can see you pretty.
Awesome.
So,
yeah. So that's hilarious. There are some conversations I have frequently enough in a form.
You have great editing tools, right?
Yeah, I definitely have like a lot of openness for play. I think it's partly working on my my control issues that I used to have.
Well, that'll do it, right?
Yeah, I'm like, well, so in order for me to improve my dexterity as a human, let me put in elements of surprise. So I'm required to be more like chill, practice my like daytime yoga,
inner zen, find the inner peace. I have a 5-year-old and he watched some cartoon. Oh, Kung Fu Panda, and the only thing he took away, well, not the only thing, but one of the things he took away from it was inner peace. And so every once in a while I'll catch him like with the whole, I'm like, what are you doing? He's all, inner peace. I'm like, all right, good.
That's
so
awesome.
If I'm getting like agitated, he'll say that to me. Mom, inner peace. I love it. Like, okay, little zen boy.
Nice.
Who's not zen at all. He's not zen. He's totally.
I think. Well, no. I guess they make children that are calm and chill.
I haven't met one in particular, and I was a nanny when I first started out for 9 years, so I've been around a lot of kids.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever really seen one that I would consider like naturally zen. Perhaps reserved, but I don't know that I'd go as far as zen. I think they love being zen though. That's a fun place. It's play though to them. It's play. It's just as playful as, cavorting about. But
totally. I have a friend who has a child who's like, she's good. She's good in a corner by herself, doing her own thing. She's very, very calm. Her sister's not. Her sister's usually climbing all of the things and like getting to know everybody. And she's just like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
Watch from the side.
Got my thing over here. Yeah, I think they can be. I don't know that it's. I think they should be climbing all over everything. Because, when you're 49, they don't really like that when you're at certain places. If you're climbing all over stuff or sitting upside down on the couch, those things aren't always appropriate.
Yeah, I'm hoping for my wrist to heal and to like become suddenly spontaneously motivated to eat differently again, so that
suddenly and spontaneously. I like it.
yeah, like
internal automatic.
I will
shift.
Or something. I've been going through like enjoying burgers and cake, like gluten-free cake, and just like like pleasures of food in my mouth this last year.
I do remember how like when we first started, it was close to our birthdays when we first met that one time, and we were talking about chocolate cake and bacon, and I was like, I gotta love a woman who can get on it with some chocolate cake and bacon. That's a good combo.
We'll just do it. Let's see what happens.
All right.
Let's see what happens. I'm gonna flick this. Charles, are we ready in that ready position?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I am Adrianne Gunn. I'm really excited here and honored to be here with
Lia Dunlap, the Oracle on Purpose.
Oracle on Purpose. So I definitely have followed and paid attention to your world, and we've met a few times, so I know what the heck that means, and we can talk to them about what the heck that means. But I wanna start in a weird place. So we met, was it like 2 years ago, 3 years ago? It feels a while ago.
Feels like almost 3. I would like
Right?
at least 2.
Okay.
I feel like we've celebrated 2 birthdays together, so
Yes.
maybe 2.5, maybe, yeah.
So here's the funny, I don't frequently meet people that even potentially look to be in the range of the same kind of person that I am. That might sound weird. So I'm sort of a question mark as far as like ethnicity, and I haven't been a question mark gender-wise necessarily for a couple of decades, but I was. So there were a lot of like gray areas about me. And usually if I walk into the room, I'm usually the only one that looks like me. So if I say, you know, like, oh, I'm the one with the hair, and that would mean something to people because my hair is curly in a particular way. So it was hilarious to meet you, and we have similar hair.
Yes.
And then when we connected on Facebook, we have the same birthday.
Literally the same birthday.
Different
Couple years apart.
Just a smidge.
few.
Just a few. And then you posted photos of your house.
Yes,
And
that's right.
we
That's
have
right.
The same house color and trim.
Yep. Yeah, it has something to do with that Leo vibe, I think. It's got to. Yeah. And I remember thinking that, you know, similarly to you, like, you know, I think curly girl hair, we have to stick together because the one thing we can go to is product. You know, it's like, I don't know a girl with curly hair who hasn't had to deal with her curly hair in some way. And so we can always talk about, that's like an instant icebreaker. Like, oh my gosh, your curls are so great.
Surely.
The next question is, what do you use?
What do you
right?
use?
What do you use to keep them looking nice, or
And
like
then
they're not attacking you, or whatever it is that they can do. They do.
I usually just I peacefully coax my hair. I'm like, I would love it if you would go in this direction, and then I let it go because I'm not the boss of what happens.
So very true. I think
Right?
I my joke is always like, it took me 40 years to love my curls. Like before I was like, okay, fine. Like I'm gonna stop beating you up and I'll let you do your thing. If you could just kind of maintain a shape that makes me feel like I can walk out in public and not look like I have a rat's nest off.
Yeah, well, I was super impressed by your. So you recently, certainly we haven't talked about this yet, but you recently did some new branding photos, and you went to the freaking beach. So we're
talk
coming
about
from a hair place.
Yeah, exactly.
Embracing that your hair will do whatever it wants to.
Yes, and you know, that was the funniest photo shoot I've probably ever done, in the sense that, you know, around the beach is my zen. It is my zen place. It is like my healing place. And so I showed up in jeans and a sweater, I think. And what was funny is, there's the Oracle. She wants me to talk about this. That's all we say. She's sending us a sign. Oh my gosh.
It's the Roomba.
Is it the Roomba going off? Oh, that's classic.
So, we're going to take just a moment.
Take a moment. We'll be back with that.
We got to clean this up a bit.
Yeah, apparently the story was getting out of hand. It's about to go terribly wrong.
So before the Roomba,
yes,
you were telling me about
the Roomba
what it
literally
took for you
interrupted us
to jump into like.
So we were talking about our hair. The thing about it, the thing about that particular photo shoot that was interesting is, I went because I was unveiling the Oracle on Purpose, and my old photos, my old headshots and such were just not really. I didn't feel representative of it.
Right.
And so I figured, what better place to go than the place that really does kind of connect me to the Oracle and just to my soul and my spirit. And so I head out there with the people that are going to be taking my photographs. Also happen to be my sister and her husband. Mm-hmm. My brother-in-law is a fantastic photographer from Montana.
Cool.
And so I'm like, I'm just going to show up and you're going to tell me what to do and have clothing and things and props and whatnot for me. And so some of the best pictures actually showed I liked were just in my sweater and my jeans. So it's kind of a funny thing. I'm like, I had like this whole vision, I think, in my head. And then one of the biggest things was I thought they would do something with my hair and makeup. So I didn't really do anything. I literally just showed up like, okay, I got out of the shower and I'm ready to go. And I said, well, like, you're going to fix those, like, and those honestly now, and like I said, it took me 40 years to love my curls. I actually, after the first initial, like, people are going to think, and everybody who saw the pictures loved them. They love the curls. It's like one of the things they most comment about. I love your hair. And I'm like, that is so funny to me because I guarantee you 5 years ago, I would have been like, I'm never going to show anybody these pictures. Because my hair is just so curly and wild. And
totally.
And that's the one thing everybody comments about and they love it. And I'm like, okay, you just never know.
I think it's weird because, so for me, I think I've sort of reluctantly embraced curls, but I did it in stages. So after high school, I stopped straightening or using gel to maneuver my hair, like having a 2 or 3 day hairstyle.
Yeah.
Like,
I love it.
You know, like you'd sleep and you mess it up. But so I would shave off the sides and let it be dangly so that it wouldn't get poofy. And my hairstylist here kept poking at me. She's like, you got to do this, you got to do this, grow it out. And so I think I was 27 when she cut this and put the dye in my hair in a particular way that it's this shape. And before I had this version of my hair, I could wear hats. There was like flexibility. I would like, and I never got as much attention for my hair until I fully embraced the curliness and did something and said yes to whatever it was going to do. I get so much attention for it, and it's really strange because I don't really feel like I deserve it. Yes, I do go to the stylist and I consistently put in reddish and streak out the blonde bits. And like I choose that repeatedly, and yet like I have so little control. It's the least control that I have. Like, and it gets in the way sometimes. I'm like, okay, if I ride my bike, or can I learn to ride a scooter or a motorcycle? Helmet hair. It's not the best look for me. Or like the wind blowing it. Like the wind will blow it and it'll stay where the wind blew it, you know? Yeah. Also, and this is not, also if you're going to be intimate with people, sometimes with my hair it takes like the showers and the drying before showing up to hang out with the person I'm going to be intimate with, and then it's you play around, and then I'm like, okay, now I have to redo my hair, and if you do that again, I'm going to have to keep redoing my hair, because like if it like there's it doesn't it's not
it's true
it's not low maintenance.
It kind of has its own, like, you know, when you'll appreciate this because so when I was in hypnotherapy school, like many moons ago, 24, 25, almost 25 years ago. One day I came in and I was in that process of like straightening it one day and doing it this way and doing it that way. And my my instructor, Maureen Mulder, beautiful woman, says to me one day, like in one of the breaks or something, she says, you know, you're hypnotized by your hair. And I swear that not only did it stick in my head that yes, I spend so much energy and effort, like it does something to me when I have a way of feeling about it. Yeah. That changes my attitude for the day or what have you. So I think embracing it most recently has really freed me up from a lot of that. Like literally, I'm like, well, it's doing what it does. Like it's going to be what it is. But I do think about that. I think like what she meant. I mean, remember when she said it, I'm like, what are you even talking about? But now I totally understand what she was trying to say.
You're in a trance. Yeah. Okay. That's
just all about the hair thing, and you've gotten consumed by it. And it's like, oh yeah, it's just hair.
I forgot to mention that when I was talking about the similarities between the two of us, and this will help us like go back to like, who are you? What the heck do you do? Why not start in the middle? Jump ahead. So you and I not only have the same birthday, same color house. Our houses are even similar shapes. Yeah. So we are both trained in hypnosis and NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. Are you a master practitioner or trainer?
I'm not a master practitioner for NLP. Okay. I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I have been for many years. Yeah. And I kind of alongside of that took a lot of NLP courses. I just never went to become a master NLP practitioner because I was like, well, I got the tools I needed. I was happy with them. They work. Great. You know, it's just another tool for my toolbox, the way I look at it. So, you know, I toy with that idea like, oh, I should go back. And then even just in saying it, I'm like, why am I going back? Yeah. I'm not a go back kind of person. I'm kind of a like, let's go forward. So
well, and the other thing is that the structure of NLP, forgive me
that,
if we don't explain
that
it.
is definitely a whole
So
conversation,
NLP,
yes.
one version of explaining what the heck it means.
Please
Let's
do.
ignore the name of it, neuro-linguistic programming. That sounds weird, but the way in which your language affects your neurology and affects your results, that sort of thing, is one of the ways of describing it. But the way to describe it in the context of what I'm about to say is it gives you sort of a shortcut and schematic for doing life, for processes of thinking, for approaching the world. It's a philosophy and a mindset that you can take to look at anything. And so NLP steals all the good ideas from, so does
everything.
So does business. Like when I got my business degree, I have a double degree in marketing and advertising.
Nice.
Business just steals all of the good ideas from social science, history, psychology. So NLP is very similar.
Very much so. And I like to say it's especially in modern parlance, if you will, it's like, it is like life hacking. It's just a life hacking tool. Right. And so many people go like, that just really kind of, I think, clicks for people like, oh yeah, okay. It's like a shortcut. It's a hack.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's efficient, and efficiency is important. So
if you've even dipped your toe a little bit in NLP, it means that whatever other modality you learn like this. You learn faster. You're able, so it almost means if you get good enough at it, and if it's something that you can geek out about and love enough, it means that whatever you study next, or whatever you decide to do with yourself, you're likely to do it with more efficiency.
I agree. Yeah. I definitely use it for the efficiency. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And I play that with my clients. Like, that's the nuance, is to like see the person in front of me.
Yeah.
And figure out, like, are they ready for that hack? Because a lot of people just want to take it slow, and that's okay too.
That is, I talk to a lot of body workers about that process of getting the sense about, like, forgive me, I kombucha burped. It's, you may have heard that, or I'm just talking about something you didn't hear. Forgive me. So, the body workers talk a lot about getting a sense of knowing when something is ready to shift.
Yes. Developing
the instinct about whether you need to push someone to an edge and give them a rapid shift. Because that's what hypnosis and NLP promises. Mm-hmm. NLP is a shortcut to hypnosis, actually. Hypnosis, sometimes, it's nice to do the trancey, longer version of helping people shift, because they need that. They need the easing in.
And I think there's a comfort about it, right? There's a tenderness about taking it slow if someone's in a space where they're feeling pushed already. Totally. And they just need to slow down.
Totally.
And if they don't I know you really love me. I love you too. And if they don't, then, and they're eager, or they're at a place where standing where they are isn't really going to ultimately serve where they want to go anymore. And they're just need, like a client said to me the other day, I just need what I know would be a gentle but firm nudge off the edge. Yeah. Like, I'm looking at that section I want to go to, and I know I want to be there, but I just need somebody to kind of stand behind me and go, okay, go then.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, and I think that just comes with a lot of things, but definitely from years of practice of just being able to observe and appreciate people where they are. Well, and if somebody's actually able to say that to you, that means that they have some level of rapport with their own self, and then also they're connected to you in a way where they trust you to say, okay, this is what I need from you. Yeah, I'm going to need you to push me off this ledge. Right. I know it's there. I know I want to do it. Hi. And apparently, so if Bentley is my new friend. Hi, Ben. Listening, we have a mascot kitty. We're trying this out, and Bentley seems to quite love, I think he's a Hickey kitty, although I don't know if that's what you need. Hi. I know, I see you. I do. Kind of precariously, like, I know. Enjoying your company. Yes. So, if you want to come down here, it'd be easier. So that it makes sense for the... I don't mind if we snuggle, but if you come down here, it'll be easier. Much easier. Much easier. So, part of the transition that I got to watch you do is that you went from being somebody who helps clients make transformations. I think you did both. My sense was like marketing and internal transformation. We like do the same thing. Yes. Sort of. Yeah, exactly. Although you've just taken a transition. Completely and uniquely different ways. Yeah. Yes. So helping people. Okay, I'm just going to say that right now I kind of feel like, we should be in an Austin Powers like this guy. with the white shirt. I'm sorry, it just kind of hit me. Apologize for that.
No worries.
Break, but yes.
So helping people like break out of their own barriers, personally and internally. I talk about it as like old baggage, old habits, that sort of thing. Breaking through those, but then also how they're presenting themselves in the world and their marketing. We both have expertise in that area. Yeah.
Yes.
There was a new call to adventure recently, or a re-knocking. I don't know. How would you describe?
I think it's interesting. I love to say that some of my most inspired moments come from learning from my clients. So I believe personally over the last few, many years, that if there's something a client brings to me, there's something for me to learn in that moment too.
Me too.
So I always see, like, when things come up for clients, I'm like, oh, this is interesting. We should take this home and work on ourselves as well. It's also part of my personality makeup. Like, if somebody comes to me with something, I'm like, I wonder if I have that issue. Let me look around my own life. So I'm very introspective that way. And so as I decided to start pushing, the one thing is, I believe also you need to be a few stages ahead of your clients, right? So I'm always constantly learning, always looking for ways to do what I do better, more, faster, farther, whatever. And so I had taken a course about speaking, which is one of the things I wanted to do a little more of. And so I'm like, well, let me go find just that's my MO. Let me go find somebody who can show me what I need to do to get there. And so I did. And so part of this process was this unveiling of what is your story? What are you about? And so in telling my story, actually listening to other people tell their story as part of the audience of this group, this 5-day program, I started having what I call blurts. I would blurt things out to people.
Okay.
When they were talking about their stories, and they were stuck, because it's really hard for me to see someone being stuck and not say something, because that is definitely my thing. Like, oh, you're stuck? Let me help you unstuck.
Right.
And I can usually be pretty good about, like, sit on your hands and don't unstuck people unless they ask you to.
Permission.
But yes, but in that particular setting, just because of the setting itself, like, we were all kind of in a workshop-y kind of way, I was like, ooh. And so I had said a couple of things that I wouldn't have privy or prior knowledge to,
right,
but that struck and hit someone like a load of bricks. And they were looking at me like, excuse me, how do you know that? And so the person that was leading the event, Susan Kirby, I can say, she's phenomenal. She's actually coming into town. I'm working with her this weekend on her event. But she said, well, how did you know that? And I go, I don't just know things. I just do.
Right.
I always have. So then all of a sudden I was on stage talking about my story of how do you always know these things. So the reason I always have known these things is I am, I'm an innately psychic person who has a, I don't typically say inner voice, but I have a voice that speaks to me and shares knowledges and messages, and it's nice for clients because it helps them to get there faster when I can just get right to the heart of the matter. If they're stuck circling around something, and I can just say, so the Oracle would like me to ask you this question, and then they're suddenly like, oh, we're going there now. I'm like, yeah, apparently we are. So you have permission, and I always say everybody's got free will, and choice is yours, but that's what we're talking about. So we can either totally talk about it, or you're going to stay stuck. So choose.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm going to purposely interrupt right now. So one of the things, so absolutely, you just said you are innately psychic and you have what you call oracle.
Yes.
And sometimes you use the oracle with your clients. And I think that's interesting. Since we mentioned hypnosis earlier, it reminded me that the moment you said that, what popped into my head was when we learn about hypnosis, and if you ever go to learn about hypnosis, you learn about the history of it.
Yes.
And there's mesmerism, and then there was hypnotherapy and hypnosis. And mesmers would have these like magic sticks that they would wave, or people would wear cloaks of a particular fashion. And so hypnotherapy is really, really simple, but but it's also really profound and fascinating. And part of allowing somebody to say yes to their own changes in their own unconscious mind and their own whatever else connection to higher selves and whatnot like our bodies are capable of so many things. Sometimes you need the theater there to help you break past your critical mind.
Yep.
And all of your judgments. And if you're going for someone to help, and I'm not saying whether you're psychic or not. I'm saying what's awesome is, whether you believe it or not, what happens for people when you say that there's some external thing, some oracle, some source, or if you say that you're a hypnotherapist and you show up with like a fancy magic wands or whatever to help somebody with their process, it gets people into state to just say a different level of yes.
Absolutely. And I think that can kind of play into the old and infamous, and definitely from way back in the basics of hypnosis, that placebo effect that we do. The huge part of it is the belief in the thing that makes it real.
Yeah.
And so part of why I found hypnotherapy was so that I could use the oracle.
Right. Okay.
So what happens is the techniques of hypnosis were, kind of, it's so funny. So kind of like they were my beard.
Oh, that makes sense.
Right?
I hear you. Yeah.
So I would say what I would have said to someone from the oracle while they were under hypnosis.
Okay, cool.
So it would work.
Uh-huh.
They would love hypnosis. They would be happy.
Yeah.
Sadly, the oracle was not happy. Because one thing I've learned about intuitive guides, voices, etc., over the last year, now that I've come out of the closet, as it were, is that they really like to be acknowledged. And when they are acknowledged, the flow of information is swift and clear.
Well, and there's a certain level of disease, and maybe you, like literally for you, but a common theme with any entrepreneur is if they're denying, or anyone really, if they're denying some part of themselves, some access or flow or something central to who they are and how they are in the world, that's going to build up, and hopefully you get there before you have cancer, right? Or
absolutely.
Or
yeah. And I think, and that's that's kind of, what is it? That's the worst case scenario, which I like to say.
Right. Yeah.
The least case scenario is you're just not very good.
You're not good.
You're not
There's
good.
no flow in your business.
You're not. Yeah. You're muddying up the works. And so now, I actually reduced the length of sessions time because I don't need that extra 15 to 20 minutes to speak for her on her behalf.
Right.
And had an experience where I told a client something right as I was transitioning over to being the oracle on purpose, that I was trying to describe what I heard. Like, there was a very specific saying that she said to me. The oracle says she needs to stop doing. I'm like, that doesn't make, and so I'm having a conversation in my head with the oracle while she's sitting across from me in my office, going, that doesn't make sense. I don't know how to say that. So I'm like, well, I'm getting the feeling that maybe if you looked at how much energy, and I'm going around in circles, and I look at her and she's giving me what I can only say is that dog in the head, kind of like weird dog stare where they turn their head and look at you kind of like, what? And what was sad was, like, I recognized she was really trying to understand what I was saying. And so I finally just went, fine. You need to stop doing. And she went, oh my God. And then blah, 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 blah. And we were there and we went through this whole process. And I'm like, we spent 20 extra minutes on something that would have taken 5.
Yeah.
And that's when I really got, like, the message, like, officially, like, forget this is silly and it's taking too much time.
Heck yeah.
And I'm all about efficiency, like I said. So it's like, okay, that's it. This is faster. It's easier. And people are getting great results. So I embrace this. I honor it. And ever since then, it's been phenomenal.
How does your life feel now after, like, just like outside of business? How does your life feel now that you've said yes to this aspect or given it a title and a voice? And
I think the biggest thing is that in giving myself permission to share it with my clients, I've given myself permission to really listen to it for myself as well. Like, I've always been the person who says, oh, if I feel like that's the right thing to do, I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. Whereas now, some of those, moments of hindsight, looking back and going, oh, I really should have listened. Like, now I know why I should have listened. So now it's much more, again, my entire life is more efficient. I can make decisions quicker. I make better decisions. I feel better about them, less guilt, which is really not a positive energy in your body or your life.
Yeah.
so things are swifter. It just feels like I describe it as having the wind at my back, you know, like as a sailor, like the course is set and I have the wind at my back, and it makes everything easier when I just fall in line and listen.
Totally.
Yeah. So.
Well, and there's something flooding in my head at the moment. There's two concepts. One is not my own. Elizabeth Gilbert said this at a book reading presentation. She just launched her book Big Magic, and I went to see this.
Good book.
Thousands of people in the audience. She said, "Don't trust your intuition," and she said this in this instance. She said, "You need to learn stuff. You need to train your intuition. You actually have to like get some
participate,
like learn enough in life, and then at some point, then you do have the skill sets and the background. So like, even if you're not an oracle, or even if you don't think of yourself as somebody who's connected psychically or has a kind of intuition that's, I don't know, broader, each one of us has in our unconscious mind every memory, every story, every family member's ever told us. At some point there is an inner voice, and it's usually not the loudest one at the table.
Definitely
is how I would describe it. There's a quiet inner nudging and a quiet voice, and usually a super whispery longing underneath all of the, I'm gonna just go with like, a lot of people have like shitty judgment noise in their heads, or they have like weird warped versions of their parents and grandparents' wisdom in their head, like or their friends, what they think, and the
beliefs, and exactly.
But when you begin to clear that out and start listening to that quieter voice, whether yours is an oracle, whether yours is, you know, a guide named Bart, there's a quieter voice inside. And I think most people's lives, when they begin to just follow that, oh my God, I just said the truth, and I'm just going to listen to this thing.
Yeah, and I think it's about learning and becoming attuned to it. And I think part of that is trusting that it's okay to make mistakes too. Like in one of my groups I mentioned recently, like you really can't screw up your life. I'm going to tell you right now, it was like I remember the sigh that I heard in the room. Like, it is your life. It is exactly as it's meant to be, and you really can't screw it up.
You're doing it.
You can enjoy it more, but in the end, it is your life. It is what your life is, and you get to be the captain of it. You get to sit and watch it sometimes. You get to do all those things. It's still a choice, and no matter what, at the end of it, it is your life.
Yeah,
and you created it. So
that is awesome. I feel that since I made the timing of this short, that is a perfect place. I would love to have more conversations with you.
Yeah, I
want to play.
Love to, for sure.
That's the deal. It's your life. You can't screw it up. You're already doing it.
You're doing it.
Congratulations, by the way.
This
is our imaginary. You see the one there?
That's
our audience member.
You've got it.
Thank you. And if you're listening in, we're not pointing at you or looking at you, but we're
see you.
Holding you in our hearts, whether you're doing your laundry or washing dishes or driving somewhere.
Yes, keep your eyes open if you're driving.
Yes,
please.
I'd
like to say. I know we both have melodic voices. I've heard that before. Like sometimes some of my clients from my hypnotherapy, they would fall asleep during my message on the thing. She said, I find myself dozing off as I'm listening to your message. I'm like, oh,
fair.
Good to know.
If we have accidentally put you into trance today,
with our lovely voice and our talking,
know that you are safe and well taken care of. And
it's time to focus.
Awesome. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks, Bentley. Thanks for giving me some love. Apparently I needed some kitty love today.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, you finally settled down now that we're done. I love it. That's appropriate.
Nice.
That's appropriate kitty behavior. Yes.
You're doing it, kitty. This is the kitty life you were meant to live.
Yep.
Well, that's how that went. Thanks for joining us on this episode. Thanks for watching, listening, I don't know, reading, imbibing, however you took this in. Thanks for being here. And if you really enjoyed it, I'd love it if you would do all of the things. Like, share, I don't know, ring a bell, bang a gong, tell a friend, and come back next time. I hope you had as much fun as I did.